Good morning, wives, men prefer. Thank you for joining me today. As this is our first lesson on the Proverbs 31, I thought that it would be best suited if we first lay down a foundation from which we can build from. So I created a few key words and key terms that I would like you to become aware of. As such, like the bottom of the screen says, get your pen and papers out so that you can write down what it is that I'm sharing with you. With that said, let's get to this, okay? The first key word I would like you to become familiar with is the word wife. Biblically speaking, a wife is a woman after the heart of God, and we are devoted to God first. And out of that loyalty, do we display and demonstrate love and reverence for our husbands. It's it's nice. It's nice because you see God in your husband. You see God in your man. You feel God within you. So you want to be that individual that projects that godly love outwardly to your husband and your family, as well as your community at large. Women, a wife also biblically is a woman who is gifted in a unique way and answers to a special calling on their lives. And this also includes answering the call to be of service to your husband, because you recognize the struggle that he goes out and have to endure, right? He has to go out there to work. He has to deal with all these different personalities, and in dealing with these excuse me, in dealing with these different personalities, do he then have all of those energies onto him, and it gets into him, it seeps into him, and he's carrying around it for like the majority of the day. So when he comes home, comfort, peace, and tranquility is what he seeks. And we do our service by ensuring that he rests. All right. Another thing I want to touch on is that the wife, biblically speaking, isn't a title, role, or a duty, okay? But it is a disposition. It is a character. It's it is her. It is what she comes with, uh, for better terms, what she comes with. What she comes to the table with. So if someone were to ask me, what do I come to the table with? Which I wish someone would ask me that, because I have some good stuff to say, right? But since no one has asked me yet, I'm going to share it with you guys anyway. So if someone was to ask me, Nevea or Trinity, depending on what they call me, what do you bring to the table? I would first say, excuse me, man, my throat is dry. I would definitely say I bring insight, foresight, good wisdom. I come with peace. I come with wise counsel. I come with an attitude of servitude. I come with God in my spirit, Jesus in my heart, and the consciousness of Christ. I come with things that you cannot hire out. So those are the things that men are looking for when they're seeking a wife. They're looking to see her mindset. He doesn't care about what you can bring that he can bring or hire someone else to do, such as your bank account, cleaning, cooking, all these tangible things he can get on his own or do it on his own. So when you are being asked, what are you bringing to the table? Essentially, they're asking you about your mindset. They're asking you about your heart. They're asking you about the spiritual you that he will have to share his resource with. He will have to invest his emotions into, his time and energy, in fact. So he doesn't want to waste time, because for men, time is the most valuable asset, okay? Aside peace. The next one we're going to look at is the word character, all right? Character, the way that I have it down, is the mental mindset and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. Think of a character on television, right? Or in a movie. I like to use Kelly Bundy from Married with Children. And it's crazy because I've only known her as Kelly Bundy for the whole entire running of Married with Children, aside for her government name, which is Christina Applegate, right? But I never met Christina Applegate. The only character I've ever met was Kelly Bundy, and this chick was ditzy. She was dingy, she was promiscuous, she was uneducated, but she was gorgeous. She was hot, she was beautiful, and she was clever and witty, right? But she was a bimbo. She held that stereotype of the dumb blonde. She, yeah, she was the epitome, the poster child for the dumb blonde. So one can imagine my surprise when I saw her in another movie entitled Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter is Dead. And she had to be the responsible adult sister who took care of of her siblings, her younger siblings, after the babysitter had passed away. And she spoke differently. She dressed differently. Her demeanor was different. Her speech was different. Her whole entire character was different. And in looking back, that demonstrated to me, like, wow, yeah, it is all about the mindset and the moral qualities that one comes with. Because Kelly Bundy, she had no morale, okay? She had no standards that she lived by. She had no philosophy outside of she likes hot guys, right? She asks her daddy for money because she's daddy's little girl, and she pretty much gets whatever she wants. But then we have the other character where she was the responsible adult, right? Taking care of her siblings. It just struck me how the character of an individual really makes a difference in how someone sees you. So when you're looking at the wife, that's why I say it's not a title, it's not a role, it's not a duty, but in fact a disposition and character. It's about the mindset that she comes with. It's about the morals, the moral standards that she has. And this is what a wife is. So a wife is an isness as opposed to a wife doing something. All right? Another thing about character that you must understand is that one's character consists of all the qualities and traits that separates them through distinctive features and behavior. Something cannot be this and that at the same time, because what makes this is separate and distinctive from what makes that. You understand? So when someone is saying, for instance, what can I use as an example? Okay, let's use the wife and a spouse. Okay, the spouse is a title, a wife is a disposition. A spouse is more like a partnership, whereas the wife is a helpmeet. She helped make ends meet. I don't know why I always get tripped up with that, right? But she helps make ends meet as a helpmeet. As a spouse, she is a partner. As a spouse, she is equal. As a spouse, she feels that she deserves half. So there's a distinctive features between that separates a wife, biblically speaking, and a spouse. Okay? All right, we got that down. Man, I'm going through this pretty quickly. I am excited. Also, a wife has not a a character has a constant and consistent way of being, meaning it doesn't flip flop. You will never see Mickey Mouse acting like Donald Duck or Pluto. You will always see Mickey Mouse behaving, performing, thinking, and feeling like Mickey Mouse. You will never see, who can I say? Who can I use? You will never see a duck behaving like a horse. In other words, a character, a character is set. Okay, the character itself is set. It's set because it has identifiable qualities and traits that comes with it, that makes it that, and that separates it from this. And it's like God, the character of God. Boom, perfect one. I don't know how come I didn't think of that before, right? Or even Jesus. Let's say Jesus, right? Jesus's character is what makes Jesus Jesus, right? Jesus is Jesus because Jesus is forgiven. Jesus is Jesus because Jesus is loving. Jesus is Jesus because Jesus is faithful. Jesus is Jesus because Jesus is honest. Jesus is Jesus because Jesus is always in character. Okay, it doesn't mean that we ourselves cannot do what Jesus does, right? Because if we do, we will then hold the same character as Jesus, who held the same character as God, just in the human form, which limited his abilities while on this planet in this time space reality. So you have to understand, a wife is always in character. A wife is in character before she meets the husband. That's why Proverbs 18:22 says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing, and the Lord will show favor upon him. This is because the wife, her character commands for certain things to acquire and unfold in her life. And those who are around her, those who are in her space, too will be blessed. Okay? So that's it for character. Next, we're going to talk about femininity. The best way I can describe femininity is you the ability to be comfortable resting in the state of being feminine. It's like you don't feel an urgency to get up and do something, but instead you feel a sense to relax, just to sit back and let things happen. Sit back and allow things to flow. You know, you're not worried about what may happen that's going to harm you. You're not worried about what's not going to happen that's going to cause you some type of suffering. You are resting in the comfortability of just being feminine. And when I say feminine, ladies, I'm not talking about just sitting there and being pretty. No, you have to emanate this energy. You have this aura about you that says, this is what I'm supposed to be doing until my services are needed. It's not about getting up and going and doing and reaching and grasping and achieve. No, it's not about that. It's all about resting in the state of calm, resting in the state of tranquility, resting in the state of beingness and love. You're making yourself available to receive. When you are resting in your feminine energy, you are literally opening up yourself to receive, which was my second thing. So, yeah. The third thing I'm going to mention is the ability to acclimate fluently and the desire to be of service. What does it mean to acclimate? That means that you are able to adjust. It means you are able to, how can I put it? To go with the flow. That's what the feminine energy does. The feminine energy is free flowing. It goes with the flow. This is why in the Bible, right, we as the wives are directed to follow our husband, because our husband is leading the way and we are just going with the flow. So the feminine energy has an innate sense of flow with her. She goes with the direction. That's why we are equated with water, right? Water goes with the flow. You have a rapid river, If you have a rapid river, right, then what you will see is that the water is going with the, going with the flow. Everything is going with the flow. If there's an obstacle in front of it, it goes around it, it goes over it, depending on the height of the water and the depth of whatever it is that is in its way. The feminine energy goes with the flow. She's free flowing, so she's able to move wherever her husband takes her, because she entrusts that she's going to be safe, she's going to be secure, she's going to be protected, she's going to be loved, and she's going to be looked after, which is a wonderful thing. And let me tell you, um, I'm not going to lie, I don't do well with change in the sense of immediate change. I need to be able to plan everything down to how I am going to feel when I'm there before I even get there. So, like with the whole reconstruction of a part of my home, my guy, he wanted to redo it so that it could be an office space type studio, so that I can do my teachings, so that I can go on live, and that I could have a workspace for myself. Now, that space has been that way for about 3 years. And the idea of getting rid of certain things, it frightened me a little bit. So it took about a month and a half for me to be okay saying, all right, let's do this. I'm ready. And once I was ready, I was ready. I jumped in. It was nice. It was smooth. It was easy. And I'm not going to lie, I love it. I don't mind my orange and, my orange and white wall, but this has more character. This has more space. The acoustics is better in here. The lighting is better in here. The wall color is better in here. Thanks to him painting it the other night for me, just to make sure that I would have it for this class. And had I not been able, or had I not been willing to acclimate, none of this would have taken place. I could have took it as, oh, why you're trying to control me? Oh, you're trying to change my space and mine, me. And I would have missed out on such a great opportunity, because I realized that by me being open to receive honors the giver. And I love honoring my guy. I love respecting my guy. I love uplifting my guy. And if making me feel better allows him to continue to feel better, well, then who the heck am I to stop him, right? Okay, so now, like I said, being as though I'm able to acclimate, I can be of better service. I feel better. I think I look better on camera, as opposed to when I did have the orange walls, when I was limited to certain colors that I couldn't wear because I didn't want it to clash, and I couldn't make the quality videos that I'm making right now. So, yes, my ability to acclimate fluently enables me to be of service to you as well as to him. The next term I would like you to get familiar with, this is going to be the fourth one, is God-fearing. Okay, now when I say that the wife, that Proverbs 31 wife is God-fearing, I'm not implying that she's cowering in fear. She's afraid to mess up, or she's scared that she won't get it right. That's not the fear that I'm talking about. That's human fear. Okay, that's the fear that someone would have regarding another human being and their thoughts about that person, right? My fear, God fearing, the fear that I know that is affixed to God, is in my not wanting to disappoint. Okay, I see myself as the spiritual human being that's resting in the spiritual space of God as the spirit self, and I am having an outward human experience through the activity of the soul energy, which is thinking, feeling, and doing, right? So I need the soul as the conscious human, as the conscious spiritual being. I need the soul to have the human experience. What does the human experience comprises of? Why am I so tongue tied? It's thinking, it's feeling, and it's doing, right? So the human body enables me to have something to think about, to feel about, and something to do. All right. So God-fearing is knowing that I'm right next to God, and I'm getting all of the wisdom. I'm getting all of the guidance. I'm getting all of the directions. There's no reason why I should be disobedient if what I am being given is for my own good, for my desires, for my wants, and for my needs. I would be an absolute idiot. So, God fearing for me is being obedient to God's laws, which I know are the universal laws and the directives that are laid out in the Bible. Also, God fearing, like I was saying, means adhering to God's laws of cause and effect, actions, and consequences. So I know that if I do this, I'm going to have that happen to me. If I don't do this, this is going to happen. If I don't do this, this won't. If I do this, this will. It's literally cause and effect. So I decide up front, what effect do I want to experience? And then I cause it to happen. You understand? So the effect that I wanted was to be able to help other people by sharing what I know, which causes me to want to become a teacher. Hence, here we are today. Hope that was simple. The fifth one is intent. When I say intent, when I use the word intent from here on now, it's to imply relationships towards a matrimonial union. What is your intention? What is your intention for the relationship? What is your intention with that man? What is your intention for your life? What is your intention for your community? Intention means your reasons for. What are your reasons for doing it? What, not so much your motives, but what is the reason behind it? And also your intent is to become a traditional wife, transitioning from that modern day mindset to the traditional way of life. This is the intent, your intent for watching these videos that I'm going to be uploading that's going to help you achieve just that, right? And so you're going to be watching it not to be combative, not to be argumentative, not to try to disprove, but try to prove, or approve. Your intent has to be pure because men can smell BS from a mile away. To believe that men are idiots makes us stupid because idiots cannot create such structure in the world that we have as buildings, as cars, right? Trains, planes. We have so many things that men built, and stupidity would not have enabled men to do that. We have to give the minds of men more credit than we do because they are brilliant. There are a lot of brilliant individuals out here. And I'm not even talking about the ones that are on YouTube or the ones that are doing the TED Talk. No, I'm talking about the ones that are down the block, up the street, around the corner, and up yonder. Those are the men that I'm talking about. They are smart. They are brilliant, okay, and very intriguing once you start talking with them. Now, 6. No, oh wait, nope, sorry, we back up. We have one more. Your intent from this point on should also be to become a whole new person. You cannot become a whole new person if you are carrying around the same old mind. I'm going to say that again. You cannot become a whole new person if you are walking around with the same old mind. It doesn't work. It's not going to work. It has never worked. It's the mind that has you being who you are. So you must first take on a different mindset before you can have, or should I say, before you can experience yourself as a new person. I really wanted to get that in. All right. Number 6, another term that I want you to get familiar with, and the categories under them, is the purpose for relationships. Now, what I've noticed, right, in growing up and then becoming an adult and up until oh my goodness, just recently. When I say recently, I would say about 5 years recent, okay? Just recently realizing that I've had the idea of relationships completely wrong. It was so wrong. I had the notion, right, that relationships were about things that I can get out of it. Never once have I ever considered a relationship, the purpose for a relationship, to be something that I put into. As far as I can recall, I've always been told that I need to find a man that can do this, give me that, has this, have that, don't do this, and stays away from the other. I completely had it wrong. Now, what I've learned is that relationships is an opportunity to, one, pour yourself into someone, to pour yourself into it. And when I say to pour yourself, I mean to show up, right? To give it your all. You don't reserve parts of you expecting the whole of someone else. That is cheating that person out of a healthy, loving relationship. Okay? You have to be okay as that biblical Proverbs 31 wife. You must be okay, being vulnerable. And that is the only way you're going to be able to pour yourself into your man. That is the only way you're going to be able to pour yourself into your home. That's going to be the only way you're going to be able to pour yourself into your community, right? Is by being vulnerable, is by allowing other people to see your imperfections and to rest into the space that you are holding for them, that is engulfed in love and understanding and wisdom and non-judgment. This is that pouring yourself into the relationship entails. Secondly, another purpose for relationships is so that you can experience yourself as yourself. When I say experience yourself as yourself, if you say that you are a kind person, well, relationships, honey, gives you the opportunity over and over and over again to experience yourself as kindness while you are being kind to someone who's mean, to being kind to someone who is unkind, to being kind to someone who is hard to deal with in the moment. It's hard for us to experience ourselves as ourselves in the absence of that which we are not. We need contrast. We need that opposite force. We need that opposite thing to be presented to us in order for us to experience ourselves as ourselves in the moment. All right. And last for this one is my favorite. Relationships also reveals yourself back to you. Anything and everything that frustrates me, that annoys me, that gets on my nerves, that may anger me or enrage me, I know for a fact it's not anything outside of me and everything within me. It has me then question, why did I get affected that way? Why did I take it personal? Why did I become so angry? Why did I become so annoyed? And it allows me to pinpoint the issue and the problems that has yet to be addressed so that I can, get into it, right? Figure it out, address it, and move on. This is how relationships reveals yourself back to you. If you ever say any relationship that you had was toxic, you have to understand, and this may be painful, but it's never them, it was always you, because you are the common denominator. You are the common factor in every last relationship you've ever been with, or been into, should I say, whether it's a relationship with a mate, whether it's a relationship with a friend, whether it's a relationship with a family member or a coworker, or just your just your day-to-day peers. Anytime you see someone else, right? If you see someone else as toxic, it's because you are looking at them through your inner lens that is revealing you back to you through them. Relationships, in summary, what it does is that it provides opportunity. It opens up room for, and it gives space to, so that you can have, be, feel, think, and do all of the things that you desire to do. All of the things that are in you. You want to experience more loving people? Well, you have to show up more lovingly. You have to show up more in love, because love is not an emotion. Love is not an emotion, but in fact, it is a demonstration. Love is a verb. Love is an action word. If you don't know what love is, think about God. That unconditional love, that 1 Corinthians 13 kind of love. That's the love that needs to be demonstrated outwardly. And I can guarantee you, my love, once you start demonstrating love to just random people, because you now know the love that you have is the love of God, and if God is within you, then you have all the love that God has in store within Him. And it becomes too much, right? It becomes so overwhelming that you cannot help but to exude more love. You want to give that love away. If not, it's going to drive you behind crazy. Okay, you're going to become love crazy. And I don't know what it feels like, and I honestly am not trying to find out, because I know that just having the little bit, or the enough, should I say, just having the enough love within me that I have right now is overwhelming. So to have more than the enough, I don't think I would be able to handle it, enjoy it, or appreciate it. I would go crazy. So now, with these 6 keywords and terms that I've listed, I want to ask you this. How often have you been presented with what healthy relationship looks like? I know there are a whole lot, like a lot of videos, articles, researches, even movies, TV shows, whatever, that has something to do with toxic relationships, right? How often have you come across topics about healthy relationships? Probably very far and few in between. As such, I decided to do my list, okay? Because I think that once you get to understand and see for yourself what a healthy relationship look like, you would know exactly what it is that you are looking for when you are seeking a suitable man to become your husband, right? It's all about knowing what it is you can expect from a relationship beforehand. And by expecting it beforehand, it allows you to be able to create that space from now, because the things you are experiencing now were created from your thoughts, your ideas, and your feelings in the past. So that which you will experience in your tomorrows relies on everything that you are doing right now in this moment, in your todays. So let's try to start creating your relationship, creating that experience that you would like to have with your future husband, who has no face yet, who has no name yet, right? Who has no features or physical body yet. This is what I did. Okay, my husband was faceless, but I knew the heart he was going to carry. I knew the role he was going to play. I knew the mindset he was going to hold. I knew the attitude that I would like him to have. So It's very important to become that Proverbs 31 wife. You must first become the wife. And the wife that you're going to become is going to be rare. So you're going to have a lot of men attracted to you because that feminine energy, mama, let me tell you, that feminine energy attracts. Okay, it's the energy that attracts, and we, as you already know, we can attract some doozies out there, right? So we must learn now, if you want to become that Proverbs 31 woman that's going to essentially be that biblical wife, we have to learn to practice discernment. All right, we cannot continuously choose men based on the the person, but the behavior. In other words, we cannot choose men based on their potential. Okay, potentiality holds less weight than probability, which is why I encourage the people that I speak with to watch the behavior, observe how they are when this happens, when that happens, or when the other thing happens, because these are the things that you're going to have to know you're going to be dealing with. You're going to know that you're going to be dealing with this individual for the remainder of your days. So you're not looking or seeking perfection. Nope. What you are seeking is suitability as well as compatibility, but more so suitability, because you need to be equally yoked, right? So a healthy relationship, the first sign of a healthy relationship is that it encourages you to relax in it. Healthy relationships encourages you to relax in it, meaning that you're not worried. Okay, I can just, when my man come home from work and he's playing his video games or he's doing his thing on whatever he's doing, I am able to just sit back. I'm sitting back. I'm enjoying his presence. Okay, I don't need the conversation. I just want to be able to just relax in the moment, in the relationship. He's here, I'm here, we're together. It's peace, it's calm, it's serene. Neither one of us are stressing over the other person. He's on his phone. If I'm on my phone, neither one of us are wondering what we are doing on the phones, who we're talking to on the phones, who we're interacting. It's just peace. So the first sign of a healthy relationship is your ability to relax into it. You're relaxed because you feel safe. You feel safe in knowing that you are protected. You're protected. He protects your emotional state. He protects your mental state. He protects your spiritual state. He protects you. He protects you. He loves you. And you're able to rest in that knowing. That's the first sign. The second sign that you are in a healthy relationship is that trust is a given. Like, I cannot see myself not trusting him. Okay. I picked him. I chose him. I didn't pick and choose. Men pick and choose, women attract and approve. Okay, so I approved him. And I trust in my own decision making skills that I picked an individual, I picked a man who demonstrated over time consistency and a state of constant beingness. I know what I can expect. I know that when we have heated discussions, I can expect not to get cursed out. I trust he's not going to belittle me. I trust he's not going to cause me any harm. I understand that there's just frustration between us. So when we are speaking, mostly me, because I'm that feminine energy, right? When I when I roar. But I trust that he's not gonna walk out of the house and seek comfort in someone else's arms and someone else's bed. And I trust him. So trust is a given. Another good sign is that you like who they are now. As I've mentioned earlier in this live, Women have a tendency of picking men with potential as opposed to picking that man based on the probability that he's going to remain this way throughout the remainder of the relationship. So they have a need to want to change the person because they want. See, the man that they want is not necessarily the man that they like. Okay. And when you are in a healthy relationship, you like the man that he is now. You're not trying to change him. You're not going to have him say, speak differently to make you feel better in your dysfunction. Okay, you're not going to have him feel differently. You're not going to make him do things. You're not going to manipulate him. You understand? You like who he is now. You like the way he presents himself. That's why you approved him. You like the way he treats his mother. That's why you approved him. You like the way he treats the children of his mother if he has children. You like the way he gives good counsel to his friends when they are distressed about their personal relationships or work relationships, whatever. You approved him because you saw qualities in him that drew you to him in the first place. That is the very thing that you can look forward to seeing more often than not, because you have to like who he is now. All right. He's not going to change for you. He may alter his ways if you are inspiring, right? Which is what a wife is. A wife inspires action, meaning that he sees you moving a certain way. He sees how you engage. He sees how you behave. He sees how you carry yourself. And that in turn may inspire him to see things differently for himself. He may be inspired to hold a different view because of of the views that you brought. That is not changing. That is bettering. A woman inspires her husband to better himself through her actions towards others, towards him, as well as the feedback that she gets from others as well. Okay. Another thing is that mercy and forgiveness comes easy. Mercy and forgiveness comes easy in a healthy relationship because, again, you know the character. That's why you approve them, right? And you understand that they're not perfect. Again, you're not looking for perfection, right? You're looking for suitability. So if you're looking for suitability, well then, um, it's okay for him to be, human and not always get it right all the time. And you grant him mercy. You grant him mercy because he's really, remorseful. He's sorry. He didn't mean it. You don't keep badgering. It's when I apologize, when I realize I'm wrong, he takes it. When he apologizes, when he's done something that he would have rather not done, I accept it. And guess what? We don't hold on. So it's one of those forgive and forget. When I say we forgive and we forget, it means that we don't bring it up again. You understand? Because we granted mercy. We pardon that person's act. In the Bible, how many times are you supposed to forgive someone? 70 times 70, right? So that's a lot. 149,000. Wait, what is it? 140, 70? Wait, 70 times 70, 49. 70 times 490,000 times. Yeah, that's a lot of forgiveness. So you got to always be in a constant state of forgiveness and a constant state of mercy, because at the end of the day, especially if you see that their actions are changing, their behaviors are changing, and they're doing things differently, purposefully, they're moving with good intent, in good faith, to make sure that that act isn't repeated because they know how it can affect a relationship. Let me tell you something. It is so easy to forgive, especially if you yourself want to be forgiven. So, you're in a healthy relationship when all can be forgiven and there's really nothing to hold over that person's head. The next thing is that each person's needs are met. I watch a lot of divorce court. I watch a lot of divorce court because I like to see what people are complaining most about. And what I'm noticing is that more often times than not, both partners, either partners, feel that their needs are not met. And I believe this is the case because they are unfamiliar with the love languages that their partner speaks. They never took the time to really get to know their partner. When you say you are getting to know someone, or when someone says they're getting to know you, chances are you're really not getting to know each other. I think what you're subconsciously doing is seeing if you should run now or run later. You're not really trying to get to know the person, because I think if you really would try to get to know the person, you might like the person, and we are more lenient on those who we like as opposed to those that we love, because we believe that those we love should really know better if because they know us, right? So learning the love languages will absolutely help and assist you greatly in meeting your partner's needs and having your partner meet your needs as well. I'm going to do a lesson on the love languages later on down the line, because all of these things that I'm speaking of right now, they are very, very important. They're very, very helpful. And I'm going to tell you, it's helped me a lot, like a lot, a lot. All right, all right, all right, all right. Oh, your relationship is a joyful experience. Like, you just cannot wait for your boo thing to walk through that door. I'm like a freaking puppy dog. I know he comes home between this time and that time every day. Monday through Friday, he's coming home between this time and that time. And as the time approaches, I become more and more excited because I like him. I like being around him. I love our conversations. I love being silly around him. I like the things that we do when we're together. I just like him. I like his presence. So it's joyful. It's a joyful experience because we do things together. We watch movies together. Yes, we do that Netflix and chill, and we listen to music. We bug out, we dance, do the old school dances, I try my hand at the new school dances, and we get a good laugh at that every time because I look and feel like a fool, and I know I'm going to hurt the next day, but it's still so much fun, right? It's nice. It's easy. It's comfortable. It feels light. It makes me look forward to the next moment. That's how you know you are enjoying the relationship experience. Okay, I have more that I have, and I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I don't want to go over the hour mark because I want to keep these lessons down to an hour. So I'm going to just do a couple of more, and then I'm going to end it. And then we're going to reconvene back on Friday at 11:30. Same time, same classroom, same platform, baby. All right. The next one is the healthy disagreements. The healthy disagreements. This was something I really had to work my behind off because I was used to debates, right? I was used to debating. Everything with me was a debate. If you said it was right, I'd say it was left. If you said it was left, I would challenge you and show you how it's right. I mean, that it's right. If it's high, like, I was just so flipping combative and I did not know it. I don't think I know it because no one ever challenged me, but he did, you know, and he challenged me by making me aware that what he's expressing to me, it's not to change my mind, but to express what he's feeling, express what he's thinking, and that I should not take it personal. It's me learning more about him, essentially. So now our disagreements become more healthy, and one thing I will never do is agree to disagree. No, I think that's lazy, and it doesn't solve anything. It doesn't provide a solution, and it literally gets you nowhere. So we don't do the agreeing to disagree. However, whenever it comes to feelings, we allow that person their right to hold that feeling. We don't argue against the feeling. While we may let it be known it was never our intention, it was never our intention for that individual to feel that way. But, it happens, right? It wasn't our intention, but they felt that way. So, yeah, we respect feelings, and we come together and we share our experiences, which is another thing about the purpose for relationships that I didn't mention before, was that it gives you the opportunity to come together to share your experiences that you've had while you were away from your partner. It's also a moment, an opportunity, and a time for you to share your experiences share your experiences with your partner on how you experience them, right? So if he was to say something, well, okay, he has. So I used to really yell a lot. Now I just yell sometimes, right? Because I'm still working on it. I haven't mastered it yet, but I'm getting better. And I will cut him off. He would hate that. So, my thing was, I gave him all these excuses as to why I did it, but it didn't matter, right? The outcome was still the same. He didn't feel as if he was being heard. And rightfully so. I was literally talking over him. I was yelling, and he doesn't like to be yelled at. So once he expressed to me how yelling at him makes him feel, I'm more conscientious. I'm more mindful. Do I get it right all the time? Hell no. But I don't expect to get it right all the time, because I expect to be human all the time while I'm on this planet right here. All right, we got about 7 more minutes, and then I'm going to end it here. I'm sorry, then I'm going to end it there. If you're just coming in, thank you for joining me. Leave me a comment in the comment section and let me know how you're enjoying it so far. And you can tune in when this is over, because I'm only going to hold an hour session each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11:30 to 12:30. And you can always look back. You can share it. You can do whatever you want with it. Just don't piss on it. I'm such a dingbat. All right, the next way another sign that you are in a healthy relationship is that the both of you have conflict resolution skills. You know how to resolve conflict, as opposed to escalating the conflict, escalating the issue, escalating the problem. You and he will try to diffuse it instead. When it starts to escalate, you do things to diffuse it by maybe lowering your voice, taking another approach in how you're explaining yourself. Conflict resolution is really also knowing your inner self. You're self-aware. You are aware of the emotional state of your beingness. You recognize that your chemistry in your body is changing, because you went from this state, which was probably annoyed, right, to this state, which is next what? Frustrated, which is going to be followed by another state, which is anger. And within all of these states, there's a distinct feeling, a distinct sensation that accompanies each of these states. So conflict resolution skills is also about self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and knowing, not even so much as knowing, but have that willingness and that desire not to be right, but to do it correct. Not to be right, but to find a solution. Conflict resolution always seeks for solutions. I just made that up. And this is the last but not least. Communication feels comfortable and natural, right? Communicating your feelings, your concerns, doubts, or whatever troubles you may be dealing with. For me, for instance, me, I avoid confrontation so much so that there are times that I do neglect my own concerns in the relationship because it's either not the right time or, he doesn't seem to be in the mood for that type of discussion, or I got something else I could be doing. Like I always find excuses to hold back my own concerns, my own thoughts, my own doubts, my own ideas sometimes, because I'm already vulnerable, right? I'm already feeling like crap. So at first, when we first started living together, it's a different personality. You know what I'm saying? You really don't know each other that well, even though you thought you did. And, I used to be afraid of coming to him with certain things that I was going through that involved him, so much so that at the most inopportune time, I would blow up. All right. It will come out a different way. It will come out for a different reason. Now, because I am in a healthy relationship, because I have grown and developed myself and became more aware of things, I know how to communicate more effectively with him because I know how he receives information best. I got to know him, right? I got to know how he receives information the best way. I got to know what he likes, what he doesn't like. I got to know what he receives easier or digests easier than, the other. I got to know him. So communicating my ideas, communicating thoughts, even with him, communicating things that I may have done that he didn't like, when he communicates those things with me now, I'm like, phew, okay, now I got a cheat sheet. Okay, now I know what not to do, what I can do. I don't have to try to figure it out. So I like when he comes to me, if I do something that he doesn't like, because it's like, okay, well, he just made my life easier. I like the idea of making my life easier. Yeah, living an easier life is wonderful. All right, well, I'm going to pick up from there. On Friday, we're going to continue with the communication because I do want to get into that a little bit more, especially where it concerns communication, because there are three types of ways that we communicate. Four types of ways. You have passive, aggressive, assertive, and passive aggressive, and listening. So it's five. You need 5 things to build up your communication skills. So I want to just touch on a few of those briefly, as well as the other things that I have listed. And if we have enough time on Friday, we're going to take a look at the divine feminine energy, at least the introduction to it. The intro to the introduction. That's what I'm going to call it. All right. Well, thank you for joining me. I hope this was insightful. I hope that this was helpful. And I hope more than anything that it was useful. We will, like I said, reconvene back here on Friday morning, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time on this platform. Until then, my lovies, I would like to wish you a magically delicious week as you remain spiritually redefined. Love you lots. Later. Bye.